welcome to stretch. We're going to just kind of go through that whole body today, head to toe. So take your time as you need it. My name is Michelle, for those of you that don't know who I am. So we're going to actually warm up some of the joints first. So we're going to multitask just so we can kind of get through everything nice and warm. And then when we get into those muscles, we're all ready to go, okay? And then the other, so just do the ankle and now do the elbows. If doing two things at once is too confusing, you just do one then the other. And then if you rotate, go the other way. So we're just getting those joints kind of lubricated. Roll your shoulders back, squeeze them. Oh, this feels so good to just kind of get those juices flowing. And roll the other way, round those shoulders. So I want you to remember to please modify as you go. This is stretch. So I don't want you to pull anything. I don't want you to push too hard. It's all about just lengthening those muscles, get everything good right here. Shoulder gently over to one side, and then over to the other side, and then over, just gently back and forth. So think of your muscles as kind of like a rubber band, right? So we don't want to snap it. We want to make sure that they're nice and warm. So we want to make motion with those muscles first, and then we can hold gently, take the shoulder away from the ear, flex the heel of your palm down into the earth, and just stand nice and tall. Shoulders are stacked over the hips. Just taking slow, deep breaths, and those breaths will actually really help you throughout the day and through your practice here. Just gently pressing the opposite shoulder away from the ear. And then over, keeping those shoulders stacked over your hips, take it chin to chest, and very lightly just rock it back and forth. And while we're here, you can still engage those abs, so draw your belly button in, and then hold it center. You can very, very lightly place one hand or maybe even two hands. And we're gonna take the elbows, point them in, and then open. So feel that stretch and lengthen through the shoulder blades, top of the neck here. And then hold those elbows pointing in. Try not to push too hard on your hands. Just enough where you feel that stretch go right from the middle of your back up into the top of your head. Very gently release those hands. Lift those head up and then round the shoulders. Shake everything out. Open your feet and we're just gonna do a nice little twist. Now if twists bother you, I want you to refrain obviously from them, but you can also just work through the hips. All right, so when we do some of our twists today, please modify as you need. Let's go more into that twist and then elbows up. Notice the back change. This feels good. And then let's open those feet wider, rock them side to side. So we're gonna get into those inner thighs, hips, right into all of it. So just 30 minutes and we are gonna feel amazing today. Hold it over to one side. You can keep that chin and chest up. Shift your weight slightly back to your heel. Feel that touch the inner thigh. And we're just getting started here. Over to the other side. Shift it. Nice little stretch of the inner thigh here. Excellent. Take it into the center. Toes are forward. You can keep your feet just a little wider than your hips. Take it down, flatten your back, and then round your back, round your shoulders, and tuck your chin and chest. So the stretch comes through that whole body. And take it down. Exhale, do it again. Oh, shake anything out you need to shake out. And then do that one more time. Round the back, lower back, and then ragdoll yourself into a standing position. Big inhale, reach up. Exhale, keep your feet nice and wide. Take your left hand onto your thigh or on your hip, whatever feels better. Reach your fingertips to the sky. And then just open up the side of the body. So feel that from the armpit down the side. And then all the way over. Now, if anything bothers you with your arms over your head, you can still do the same stretch with your hand here. And I still feel that same stretch. This just gives it a little bit deeper. And over. Release the arm. Take that arm up to the sky. Reach nice and high. You can use that hand for support wherever you need to. And then over. Now, if you're feeling yourself lean away, oh, this feels so good, so good. Inhale, reach, let's take it back down, bend the knees, and then round your back. Hold it down here and just let your arms fall. I'm gonna go to a slight angle here so you can see your knees are bent. And then just let your arms hang, let your head hang heavy. Can you guys hear the goats? They're waking up this morning. That's my music for the day. So if you wanna add your own music, you're welcome to do so. And just feel that gravity pulling your back down towards the earth. You can wiggle your head a little more if you'd like, and just all directions. Good, feel that stretch go through the lower back. Now what we're gonna do is place our hands on our thighs or on your shins and push your tailbone up and down. So we're warming up through the hamstrings. Remember, we gotta warm up before we really get into it. Now if you just woke up and you're just tuning in, you might feel a little bit tight. That's okay, just slowly get into this. Go ahead and point the tailbone up. Now again, you wanna just rest your arms wherever you feel, but I want you to imagine hinging at the hip. So instead of trying to round here, I know it's super tight here, is just bend your knees a little bit and try to hinge at the hip. Oh, hold it here. And then bend the knees, hands on the thighs. Push your hips forward to round and roll up. Feel that stretch as we come on up. Shake it out. Big inhale, reach up. Now the feet are together. We're gonna kind of do the same thing. You can place your hand on your thigh or your hip for support. Reach the fingertips. I want you to slightly push your hips off to the right as you reach over to the left. And if you look forward and see that arm, I want you to take your arm and bring it up. Inhale. And over to the other side. Yes, waking up that body. Maybe you're doing this on replay, and that's totally fine. This is great for after a workout, or maybe you've been sitting at your desk for a while. And then slowly release it. Place those hands on the thighs. Come down just like you did with your feet wide, flat back, and then round your back. This time, hold it here. Just stay right here. Take your hands and just sort of grab the back of your thighs. Just a little bit. So when you round up, you're holding onto your thighs and round the shoulders, almost like resistance here, and you can feel a deeper stretch right through that back. So we want to separate that vertebrae, right? We want to open up between all the spaces of each vertebrae. Exhale, release, place your hands on your thighs, and then slowly take your time. Push your hips forward, that helps. As you come on up, inhale, reach up. Exhale, take it to your forward fold, but I want you to soften your knees. So just like we do with our feet wide, hold it, bend your knees, drop your knees a little bit lower, rest your belly on your thighs. Hold it here. Feel free to wiggle your head. Just like we did with our feet wide. Now this time, just kind of tilt your pelvis to the right and the left. Kind of pointing your tailbone from side to side. Let your head hang heavy. Oh, this feels so good. Hold it center. Lift your tailbone up and down. Hamstrings right there. That's okay if your hands are on your shins. Maybe you have blocks. That's fine too. So whatever works for you. Blocks are a great tool because then you don't have to go as far. But you can also hold on to your shins. All right, so let's hold it. Remember we were talking about hinging at the hip. Really hinge at the hip. Oh, take a breath. Allow that gravity to just pull you down towards the earth, top of the head faces the ground. If you need to bend your knees a little bit more, that's fine, but we want to focus on the hamstrings right now. So just let your shoulders sink to your ears. Bend your knees, hands on your thighs. If you'd like a ragdoll, push your hips as you slowly come on up. Inhale, reach up nice and tall. So go ahead and open up your feet wide. We're going to turn our toes just slightly out and then lean over onto your right leg. So when you lean, if your knee points out, just point your toe out too. So we want to make sure we're always in line, and then just get that nice stretch. Now we did this in our warm-up, so this time we're going to turn our toe and knee up. All right, if that's too much and you feel hyperextension, that's fine. You can stay right here. You got it. Slowly over to the other side. Same thing. You can either keep your foot forward or turn your toe and knee up. Just make sure you're not pressing on that knee. So we don't want any hyperextension in the knee. You want it right in that thigh. We're going to do this one more time. Your option is to go lower, totally up to you. So from here, either stay here. If your knee allows you to do so, I want you to drop down. All right? If this bothers your knee, just stay up. It's just a little bit deeper, but notice the toe comes up. Good job. All right. Push yourself up. Use your hands if you need to. Same thing on the other side. So stay here. Option, turn your toe up or drop down onto your knee. Right here. Oh, this feels so good. Right through that inner thigh. If you've been doing booty camp yoga with me yesterday, I'm sore. Ooh. Good job. Push yourself up. Let's hold the feet wide. If your hands are already down, go ahead and keep them there. If they're not, let's keep it, place those hands down. And then just go into a really nice wide stance. Forward fold here. And allow your body to just hang. So I don't want your arms really doing much. Even if you're up here, just try to hang, use the gravity to pull your arms through your legs. So I'll show you this way. If you'd like, you can take your hands through your legs, or maybe you want to grab the outside of your legs and point that tailbone, tuck your chin into your chest. So either one is good, whatever feels best. To the right, just push your tailbone to the right, placing a little more weight on the right leg, and then switch over A little more weight on that left leg. You can feel that through the outside of the hip too. Back to center, slowly release. Lift your head halfway up. I don't want you to get dizzy here. I just want you to hold it halfway up. Exhale, hands on the thighs. Bend your knees, place your hands on your thighs as you push and round and roll up. Just kind of the easiest way to get up. Stay with your feet nice and wide. Turn your toes out. Now we're gonna open through the front of the hip flexor here, and then we're gonna take it on the ground and really get deep into those legs. So hands behind your back, so we can just show you kind of this way. Bend your knees and push your hips forward. So I want you to really open up right through your hip flexor here, right where your that bend is, and go ahead and just push. Only go as far as you feel comfortable. Use your hands for support. So I'm actually pressing my hands into my back, squeezing my butt cheeks, right? And then if you'd like, you can look back. Now if that bothers you, don't look back. You can look straight and still open through the front of the body. Slowly release. Roll the hips. Roll the hips. Shake it out. Nice. We're actually going to take it down onto the ground and really get into our back and our hips and our shoulders. So we're going to start in a seated position and work on our shoulders a little bit first. So sit nice and tall and however you want so that you can still feel your sit bones. So if you feel yourself leaning here, I need you to sit up nice and tall. Take your right arm, bring it behind you. Okay? So I'm going to use my hand a little bit because I am really tight through my shoulders and help myself bring it across the body just a tiny bit. Don't push too hard. Now if you feel your shoulder rolling forward, take it and open up. So a good way to do that is push your hand into your body and draw your elbow back. So notice that opens the chest, so I already feel a huge stretch right through the shoulders here. Now you can keep that hand, I like to kind of press my fingers in, just to remind myself to keep that shoulder back, and then gently take it ear to shoulder. Huge stretch from the ear, down the side, and then also through the front of that shoulder. Slow deep breath, release any tension in that neck and shoulders. This is great if you have headaches, neck ache, shoulders, upper back, release that tension. Head comes up, slowly release the arm, give yourself a little hug on that side. Bringing the same arm across the chest, take your shoulder blade, drop it down, and press that arm into your chest. So make sure your shoulder is into your ear, I want it down, and then if you'd like, you can look over. So we're stretching the back side of that deltoid, the back of the shoulder, opening up the shoulder blade a little bit. Slowly release and shake it up. All right, so let's do the other side. Take your left arm, bring it around. Now this arm is really tight, I know for me. I like to grab my fingers and just kind of bring it across, not too much. And then notice that shoulder kind of wants to compensate. So I'm gonna take the shoulder, consciously draw your shoulder blade back. Good, and I like to press on those fingertips. It reminds me to stay up and kind of gives that a little extra pressure, and then gently take it ear to shoulder. So if you start feeling yourself sink down into your bum, sit nice and tall. And your legs can be wherever you want. Whatever feels good to you. I should name those goats. They're not mine. I love them though. Take a breath. Enjoy the goats. They're saying good morning to you. Slowly release that head, slowly release the arm, shake it out. And then bring that same arm across the chest. So notice how that shoulder kind of opens up. Take it and press it straight down, and then bring that arm across the chest. Go ahead and look over your shoulder. Always feels so good. I already feel that tension between my eyebrows and in my eyes, sort of relaxing, regrouping. So even though we're kind of relaxing here, we're also really rejuvenating the body, getting it ready for your day or just kind of to restart. And then while we're here, last one, bring your arm up. Grab your elbow and slowly bring it. Now, you can bring your arm a little bit further back. You can touch the back of your neck, you can. If you'd like, without rounding forward, keeping the chest up, you can lean slightly over. Now this one, I want you to imagine that shoulder blade, right? This is the peak of that shoulder blade. It's kind of pushing it off and opening up your armpit. Try not to lean forward. Keep that chin and chest up. Slowly release. And while we're here, let's switch sides. So I feel like we really neglect those shoulders. So we're gonna open up the shoulder blade, and then you can lean. Make sure you're not leaning forward, we're just leaning to the right. They're going off today. And slowly release, exhale, and shake it out. Nice job. We are going to take it down onto our back. So very slowly, just roll onto your back, however you need to. Hug your knees into your chest, hands either behind the knees or on, and then just rock back and forth. Get a little massage first. This feels really good. And the more you hug your knees in, the deeper that massages into that back. And if you want to come lower, it's more in that low back right here. And we're going to progress bringing those feet down. Now we want our feet wide, like almost to the edge of your mat. And if you're not on a mat, no big deal. Just a little bit wider than your hips. Just place your arms at your side wherever you're comfortable and rock back and forth. Now what we're actually doing is stretching through the front of the hip flexor and right through the outside of that hip here, right? And just gently drop the knee. We want to be on the blade of the foot. This feels so good. I tell you guys all this at the time, but I really feel like we neglect the front of our body. It's so easy to forward fold or grab your leg or whatever, but it's really hard to kind of do a back bend or anything to really open up the body. So we're going to hold it over to one side. So I'm going to take my knees to the right, and the weight is on the blades of the feet. The feet are wide. Feel the stretch. So if you're to the right, you should feel it on this left leg. Right leg isn't really doing much. And it's right here. So what I want you to imagine doing is pressing that knee straight down, but your hips up. All right, so you don't want to turn. You want to keep everything nice and open. We're going to do this twice. I'm going to give you a progression. Take a breath. Feel that stretch open up the front of the body. Very slowly back to center if you want to rock, and then over to the other side when you're ready. Again, you're on the blades of your feet. Your feet are nice and wide. And we're pressing our right heel into the ground and our right knee down also. Now try to get that right hip down too. So we don't want to lift. We want to press it down and press that knee. Feel that from right about the top of the hip all the way down. And take a breath. Slowly rock back and forth. We're going to do this one more time with a little progression. Stay where you're at if you need to. We're going to stay here. So these are to the right. Now if you'd like, you can take this right leg, place it on your left knee, and gently press that left knee a little further. So notice the length get a little deeper here, and if you want even more, take your left arm and reach it up, or if that's too much for your shoulder, just do a little bent elbow or a cactus, half cactus, whatever you want to call it. It's fine, but you'll feel it lengthen. Now what I want you to do is take a breath, and as you inhale, I want you to imagine like kind of sucking in your belly and extending your rib cage up and your hip bone down. So really stretch right in between your rib cage and your hip. Lift your arms up, slowly bring it in, and then take your foot off, back to center, rock back and forth. Oh, that feels so good. So let's do the other side. Let's take it over. Again, this is so important for the front of the body. Right here, option to take your left leg, place it on your right, and then slowly drop it down. Now, same thing. You might feel yourself wanting to tilt over, so make sure that right hip is down. Option, take your right arm up. And then as you breathe, imagine taking your rib cage, extending it up, and your hip bone down. Really lengthen right here and then all the way. Slowly release the foot, arm comes down, rock back and forth. Let's bring those knees back into the chest, stretch that back, and let's get into the back a little bit while we're here. Hold it, arms out to a T. Let's take it 90 degrees with those legs, and then take your knees over to your right. Open those palms nice and high so we can get a stretch of the chest. Even if your right shoulder isn't touching the ground, you're still getting a beautiful stretch of the chest and shoulders. And then if you want, you to look over your left shoulder. Now, if you want a little bit more, take your right hand, place it gently on your left leg. Give yourself a little tiny deeper twist right here. And then as you exhale, I want you to feel that twist through the middle, working your digestive system, bringing out those organs, just kind of restarting that system. Slowly release, take it into the center. You can rock back and forth if you'd like. Oh, and let's take it over to the other side. So knees to the left, they're kind of parallel to your hip right here, palms up. So I almost like to imagine taking my thumbs and opening them, and it really gives me a good stretch of the shoulders. You can look over your right shoulder. If you'd like, take your left hand, place it on your right thigh. Gently press down, not too much, just enough where you feel a little deeper stretch to that back. Exhale. Notice when you exhale, you can get a little deeper twist. Get some air out of that belly. Release the hand, take it back to center, head comes center, hug back and forth. And we've got progression here, so we're gonna do one more a little bit different. Lift it up, take your right leg, crisscross it over. That's okay if it doesn't cross a lot, okay? Just enough. Now, right leg's gonna cross over, so we're gonna actually go to the left. So right here, palms up. We're gonna take our knees over to our left. So the right leg is crossed. We go over to the left. If it's too deep, just uncross, okay? And if you're in between, you want a little deeper than the lift, but you don't want to be crossed, just take your leg and straighten it straight up, all right? Just let that leg sink over to the earth. It's okay if it's not touching, and it's okay if your shoulder is not touching. We're here because we need the stretches. So no matter what stage you are in your stretches or wherever you're feeling, just take care of your body. Slowly uncross is the easiest way. Take it back to center. You can hug back in, kind of give yourself that massage. Do whatever you need. Exhale. Let's cross it. So left leg over right, arms out, and let's twist it over to the right. So same thing, you're just kind of opening it up, but if you don't like it here, you can bend the knees or take your legs straight. That'll give you a little bit more. And if you'd like to look over your shoulder, you can. We want to hold each stretch for at least 20 seconds or more, just to kind of allow that muscle to relax. And breathe, get some oxygen through that body. Feel free to uncross the knees, take it back to center. However you need to, hug it into the chest and rock back and forth. And let's go back to the legs. All right, so we're gonna touch the toes down, open, touch the bottoms of your feet here into a little butterfly. We're gonna take our hands and the heel of the palm we're gonna place right at that hip, right here, right where your upper body and your lower body meet, right where it bends. We're gonna push away, so just push that body. Oh, this feels so good. It's almost like you're getting traction in your lower body. It really opens up the hips and that low back. So it's a little bit of resistance. You're working a little bit, but you can push and then release. Push and then release, or just really push and hold. And slowly release. Now hold it here. We're going to take those hands, place them on your thighs. If you can't reach, use your fingertips and reach wherever you can. And just gently press those knees towards the earth. So inner thigh, hip flexors, low back, everything's working right now. Let your shoulders sink down, open up your chest a little more if you like. And then slowly release, bring those knees back in. Go ahead and take your right leg, extend it all the way out, left leg comes in, hug the back of your knee, and place your thigh on your rib cage. So just kind of open it wide. It's totally fine. If you want to roll your ankle around, you can, multitask. Hold it here. Just feel yourself sinking into that. Sometimes this is just all you need, right? All right, bend your right leg, take your left leg into a figure four, and before we lift up, we're gonna take our left hand on our left thigh and push our knee away from you. So keeping the hips square, try not to tilt those hips, keep them centered and just push that knee. And I like to flex that foot. That keeps the integrity of the knee and the hip, just everything, and you can kind of feel that right through the outside of that hip here. Release the hand. Keep your figure four, and let's go ahead and hug it in. Now you could be here wherever you need to, right? Watch the back. You can use your hands with those legs, or you can thread and then draw that knee into the chest. Whatever you do, we want to imagine taking that left knee and pushing it away from your shoulder. So we're digging deep into that piriformis muscle, low back and hips. This is an amazing release. So if you can hold it here as long as you like, you can straighten your leg if you want to play with that a little bit. Use your elbow or your hand, however you are, to draw your knee a little further away. And I like to kind of pull my foot in a little bit and then use my hand. Gives me a little deeper stretch. But everybody's different. A lot of people like to just grab and use the elbow. Oh, this feels so good. Hang in there. Slowly release it. Drop that foot down. Extend that leg straight up. Left leg extends. Hold it. Right knee comes in. So we're going to do the other side. You can roll your ankle around and roll it the other way. Multitask for a second. Take a breath. Hold it here. All right, left knee bends. Right leg comes onto that figure four. Hold it right here. take your hand, push your right knee away. Really push that away. Open up through the hip right here. Good. Flex this foot. We flex that foot, kind of keeps that angle. And release it, keeping the figure four. Let's bring it in. You're gonna notice one side tighter than the other. You can have your hand thread it through and hold, using the elbow to draw, or just grab your foot and then bring it towards your shoulder, and your your knee, we're gonna push away from our shoulder. So getting back into that piriformis muscle, flex your foot. Let your back just lay flat on the mat. So if you feel yourself curling in, I want you just to relax your upper body. Take a breath. If it's resisting you, feel free to come up a little bit. You don't have to push. Pushing is not going to help here. I want you just to relax, and as you breathe, your body will do what it needs to do. Take another slow, deep breath in. Exhale, maybe you can get that knee a little further away from your shoulder. Again, you can use your elbow, or if you want to use your hand. Excellent. Slowly release that left foot down. Right leg extends out. Left leg extends out. Arms up nice and tall. Really reach those fingertips to the edge of your mat. Draw your heels as far to the other edge as if someone's pulling you both directions. Feel that rib cage lengthen. And then exhale, relax the arms and shake it out. Nice job. Just let yourself sink for a moment before we move on to the last bit of our stretches. So I promised you a full body stretch, right? And we've gotten through the shoulders, the neck, the hips, even the triceps, low back. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale. Just roll yourself over onto one side. And this right here is actually a fabulous stretch. But what we're going to do is we're going to open up through the front of the hip here. So we're leaning on our right, so, or you're on your left, whatever's. But the top leg, we're going to straighten it. And then we're going to actually bring it back. So use your left hand to kind of counterbalance and bring that leg back. Now, it can either hover, or some people can actually drop it down, but don't bend to get it down. Just bring it behind you. I'm going to lean slightly forward. So notice I'm going to lean forward with my left shoulder and bring my right or my left leg back. So can you feel that stretch right here, right in that hip bone going down the side of the leg? This feels so good. All the way up. You should feel this in your back. Slowly come in. Now before we switch over to the other side, just take that knee and drop it on the other side. Hold it right here. And it's very subtle, but it's kind of a counterbalance. Now you guys can feel free to flip over. I'm just gonna flip this way so that you're not looking at my back. Okay, so we're gonna go onto the left side of our body. You're resting on your left leg, left knee is bent. And then take your right leg, extend it, use your right hand as your balance. We're gonna bring that right leg back and then lean slightly forward. And you might notice one side's tighter than the other, but I'm trying to touch the ground back there, but most people can't touch it, and this side's a lot more flexible than the other. And you can do whatever you need to with this arm. Oh, I feel it opening up right through that hip right here. Super tight area, a really hard place to get to stretch. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel free to come into it or out of it. Take that right leg and bring it back over. Straighten that bottom leg or bend it. Just hold it here, kind of reset. Take a breath. So it doesn't take long to really get that blood flow. Any type of energy through the body is amazing. So if you have 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or even 5, whatever you have, pick a body part and do one little exercise. Go ahead and push yourself up into a seated position. If you have any questions or you need more modifications, please let me know because I'm here for you. You can message me, and we do have our online membership too with a ton of exclusive classes, so I'd love for you to join us. I will put the link in the description too. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a fabulous, fabulous day. The badass in me honors the badass in you. Namaste. Hi, if you like this video, click the link below or in the pinned comments and we'll send you 2 members-only videos, 1 stretch class and 1 HIIT cardio yoga class that will make you feel strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. So just click that link, put your name, your email, and you'll get full access to both classes.
Now, if you like our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, click that bell, comment, and like all our classes that you've been taking so we can keep giving you more. We look forward to seeing you in our next Sweat Fit Fam class. Have a great day.